On the pitch, Wrexham are flourishing. Back-to-back promotions, cup finals, great signings. Their journey to the Premier League is on track. But can you say the same for off the pitch? Are Wrexham making money, and are Rob and Ryan going to see a return on their investment? I'm Jordan. I've been fascinated by this story since the takeover happened just over 3 years ago. So today, we're going to break down the business behind Wrexham Football Club. We're going to look at the numbers in a lot of detail. We're going to look at the impact of Rob and Ryan since their arrival. And we're going to look at where the club's going to go from here. All in a bid to answer one question. Is the Wrexham gamble paying off? We're going to start by answering a question that I asked a few seconds ago. Are Wrexham making money? The answer is no. Take a look at this graph to the side of me. It shows the revenue of Wrexham Football Club in the last 4 seasons. As you can see, since Rob and Ryan's takeover, the revenue has more than 6x'd. It's up, it's to the right. It's amazing. However, take a look at this graph. This shows the profit and loss of Wrexham in those same 4 seasons. Wrexham are making a lot of money, but their costs are really high too. So you may be thinking, if a League 2 club is making that much money and they're still making a significant loss, what the hell are they spending their money on? Well, I'm going to focus on 2 things for the purpose of this video. The first is their squad. In the summer of 2021, Wrexham bought Paul Mullin on a free transfer. Despite not spending anything on the transfer itself, they reportedly pay Paul Mullin £4,000 a week, which is more than double the average wage of a player in that division of the English footballing pyramid. 6 months later, in January 2022, they bought Ollie Palmer in a club record fee of £300,000. Not too long after, defender Ben Tozer came for an undisclosed fee. Reports suggest that fee was around £225,000, and he also reportedly makes £3,000 a week. What I'm trying to say here is Rob and Ryan have committed significantly to spending on payroll, wages, and salaries. In fact, when you look closer at the financial accounts posted by Wrexham, you'll see the payroll figure is massive. In fact, it's so big that is a record for a League 2 club in English football history. Second is the stadium. Believe it or not, Wrexham didn't actually own the stadium that they play in when Rob and Ryan took over. Since their arrival, they bought the freehold to the land, and now Wrexham own the stadium, the racecourse ground, for the first time since August 2011. They had a lot of support from the community to buy the freehold back, and it was a massive press release when it was announced. But amongst all of the press, it wasn't really detailed how much they spent to buy the freehold. I'm a neek. I looked at the accounts, and I spotted something when I saw. If you look closely at the cost section, you'll see an entrant for freehold land and buildings for £2.1 million. Unconfirmed from Rob and Ryan themselves if that was for the freehold, but looks pretty close, doesn't it? If you're eagle-eyed like me and you look to the right of that number, you'll also see an entrant for property improvements and see a healthy year-on-year spend. We'll get back to that later too. So yes, Rob and Ryan are spending a lot of money, but they also make a lot of money for the club too. If you've been following this channel for some time, you'll know I write a weekly newsletter sent to your email inbox every Monday at 11 AM UK time. 4 articles a month breaking down a story about the business of sport in the UK or the EU. Join the hundreds of subscribers today by clicking the first link in my bio. Now, how much are Wrexham making? Well, it's a lot of money. Let's find out. This table shows the 7 revenue streams of Wrexham Football Club. It also shows the year-on-year turnover increase that they made last year. A League 2 club making £10.4 million in turnover is unheard of. In fact, Wrexham got promotion to League 1 at the end of this season, and around them were 3 clubs: Stockport, Mansfield, and MK Dons. To put things into perspective, this was the revenue generated by those 3 clubs. Wrexham are heavily outstripping their nearest contemporaries. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to focus on 2 of those revenue lines. The first being the football-related line. This explores prize money that Wrexham received from their on-pitch success last season. In the year of this financial accounts, Wrexham got to the 4th round of the FA Cup. They beat Coventry in the 3rd round, and then they got to Sheffield United in the 4th round. First leg was a draw, second leg was a replay. Despite them losing in the 4th round, that run was particularly lucrative, and you can see the year-on-year increase in football-related revenue that Wrexham received. Next is retail sales. Look at the jump from one year to the next. Retail sales is simple: merchandise, shirts. Wrexham sell a lot of shirts, and that's because they have a truly global fan base. How did they develop such a global fan base? Their most prized asset, the Welcome to Wrexham documentary. In the UK, that documentary is distributed on Disney+. In the US, you watch it on Hulu. Make no mistake, that show is a smash hit, and it has really allowed Rob, Ryan, and Wrexham to form fans all around the world. In fact, on their accounts, it actually broke down their revenue generated by geography, and it pointed out that 25% of Wrexham's revenue, yes, £2.5 million, was generated outside of the UK. How on earth is a Welsh club in the 4th tier of English football generating £2.5 million of revenue overseas? Mental. But that show is winning awards. It's won Emmys, Critics' Choice Awards, and is extremely popular. It's put Wrexham in a very strong position to generate healthy sponsorships and also build a massive fan base from people in the community and also distant observers like me. It's an amazing piece of content, and I can't imagine what next season is going to be like, showing their promotion into League One from League Two. Interestingly, the revenue that Disney distributes to Rob and Ryan for the rights to Welcome to Wrexham aren't shown on this set of financial accounts. It goes to a separate set of financial accounts owned by Rob and Ryan themselves. However, the knock-on effects felt from that documentary are evident. The first way, and a way that really helps set up their future, is with sponsorships. Since the accounting period ended for their last financial accounts, Wrexham have announced 2 major sponsors. The first is Stock Cold Coffee Brew. It is one of the fastest growing coffee brands in the US, and they've been announced as a major sponsor to the Wrexham Football Club. Similarly, so have United Airlines. Yes, a Welsh club being sponsored by United Airlines. It's mad. Reports suggest that next year's accounts will show Wrexham generating more than £20 million in revenue, taking this graph that I showed you earlier to another level. Mental. Interestingly, the stadium's going to get better too. Now that Wrexham own the stadium, improvements are coming. One of the things that Wrexham need to do is become compliant with UEFA's Category 4 stadium rules. In August 2022, Rob and Ryan submitted planning permission to increase and redevelop the Kop stand at the racecourse ground. With that, so many things are going to come. 5,000 new seats, 600 new hospitality units, and more importantly, it's going to make the racecourse ground a 4-sided stadium again, which helps with the compliance under UEFA's regulations. More seats means more revenue, which means more matchday income. You know how important matchday income is to football clubs. On top of that, the hospitality seats are high margin, high revenue, and also allow for more hosting opportunities for more Hollywood stars, perhaps. Funny enough, recently, Rob and Ryan have actually suggested that they want the capacity of the racecourse ground to be 50,000 seats. Yes, 50k in Wales. It's not very common. They said they see no reason why that stadium can't host national events in Wales. Fair play to them. They're ambitious. I'll give them that. All of this points to a bright future as they continue their journey upwards. I'll be honest, when they first bought the club, I didn't know what to expect. But they're committed. They're bought in mentally. They're spending a lot of money. And they've got the community behind them. In my opinion, the edge that they have right now is the fact that they have a lot of spending power, especially in the lower divisions of the English footballing pyramid. That's going to run out soon as they get to League One and they get to the Championship. They're going to need to raise more funds to keep up with the more well-established clubs the higher you go. One of the ways in which they can do that is by taking minority investment from strategic partners, and that's already started to happen. Over in Mexico, there is a club in Liga MX called Club Necaxa. 50% of Club Necaxa is owned by 2 American real estate investors, Sam Porter and Al Tiles. They led a consortium to buy half of Club Necaxa 3 years ago, and a few other famous faces joined them along the way. In a recent filing, Wrexham announced that those guys own 5% of Wrexham Football Club, and in exchange, Rob and Ryan now own 5% of Club Necaxa. Many things can sprout from this strategic partnership. Player swaps, fan base exposure, pre-season tours and friendlies. These are the creative ways in which Wrexham are going to build their fan base, build more resources, and become more of a global brand. There's so many murmurs online about whether Rob and Ryan are going to sell up and get bored of Wrexham anytime soon. I don't see it. These guys are in it for the long haul. Their accounts show that they're owed nearly £9 million from all of the money that they've invested into the club. But I'll be honest, I don't think they're worried about that. In just 3 years, the club is going in exactly the way they want it to go. And there are too many reasons for optimism in the short, medium, and long term for Wrexham Football Club. There's been a few clubs that have gone from the lower tiers of English football all the way to the Premier League. One of those clubs is Brentford, who are reportedly in the market to sell for £400 million. If Rob and Ryan did that, then £9 million that they're owed by the club will mean nothing to them. If you want to see the business decisions about how Brentford did their journey, click this video here. I'm Jordan. I've enjoyed putting this together. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my newsletter below.